Sangram Vajre asks, on today's You Ask, I Answer, I'm not sure there's a future for lead scoring. Are you? Lead scoring as we currently know it isn't great, but it's better than complete blindness. Modern lead scoring, today's lead scoring, it really should be called activity scoring, right? When somebody is in our system, we'll assign things by titles, we'll assign things points by company size that they work at, and we'll assign them things that are activity based, like, hey, you downloaded a white paper, you attended a webinar. But today's lead scoring is overly dependent on demographics and firmographics, meaning, this person's age, or this person's gender, or this person's size of company, annual revenue, number of employees, all these things which are public data points that are built into a lot of CRM and marketing automation software. We score for things like title, like CMO or vice president or SVP or whatever, and assign people higher points in our systems for those things. The problem is that a lot of these characteristics are really very, very basic qualifications. They qualify whether somebody can buy our product or service. The problem is, with lead scoring as it is today, just because somebody can buy doesn't mean they're willing to buy, and it certainly doesn't mean they're willing to buy from us. IBM codified this years ago in the 1960s with an acronym called BANT, which stands for Budget, Authority, Need, and Time Frame. Does this prospect have the budget to buy our stuff? Do they have the authority to sign a deal? Do they have a need for our product or service? And do they have a time frame in which they're looking to make a purchase? Modern marketing technology, it's really interesting. Marketing automation and marketing technology has largely ignored BANT. The way systems are structured, they just kind of assume that everybody is always qualified and ready to buy, right? Again, if you throw in all of your data and it's just analyzing firmographics and demographics, it's saying, well, the CMO of a Fortune 500 company is clearly qualified to buy, right? Well, yes, they may have budget. They probably have authority. But we have no idea about need. We have no idea about time frames. So should they be scored highly in a system? The answer is no. We have no idea about 3 of the 4 characteristics of this BANT acronym. And as much as sales professionals and especially vendors love to poo-poo the BANT concept as being outdated, well, no, we can't even get our software to do it. It's still, I think, a relevant way to prioritize what you work on. So how can lead scoring change? What is the future of lead scoring? Well, the future of lead scoring is 2 things. It's behavioral and contextual. Understanding where a person is helps understand whether or not they're likely to buy. And instead of lead scoring as an activity score, it'll probably evolve to probabilities. It'll probably evolve to 1 or more percentages, 0 to 100%, along multiple dimensions. Understanding the BANT stuff still has to be in there. You still need the basics. Can this person or company even afford our stuff? If we're selling $1,000 an hour consulting, and the person has $1,000 total, and they have an 8-hour project, of course they can't afford this thing. So the BANT data will still be important. Demographic and firmographic will still be in there too. It's just we won't make those the primary considerations. What will be the primary considerations? A lot of it, again, contextual and behavioral, machine learning powered marketing automation will create the next generation of lead scoring, fed by APIs, social graph data, public data, news data, which is incredibly unused within marketing automation software right now. You can pull data off of public news feeds about companies, and it's just not being used hardly at all. Predictive analytics and significant training, taking the existing CRM data and all of the information we have about the company as they were going through the buying process. For those deals that were successfully closed, we have to train our machine learning systems to recognize more things like that, as well as things that may not be relevant. So, for example, let's look at a couple of examples. Contextual and behavioral. This is a behavioral example. If someone's an intern at a company, should the system discard them? In a firmographic system, absolutely. They're the wrong title, out they go. But in a contextual lead scoring system based on behavior, that intern might be the most valuable person in the pipeline, because the CMO is not going to be Googling for SaaS procurement software vendors. She's going to delegate that down 20 levels in the corporation, and it's going to end up on the intern's desk. The intern will be like, they'll tell the intern, hey, go research SaaS procurement vendors. Then the intern will go Google it, right? And pull together a short list. They'll probably go to like G2 Crowd or Capterra or something, put together a short list of all like the 5 companies in the little box, and put that and elevate that up the chain. And that's what the CMO will see. A good lead scoring system that understands context and behavior will take that into account. Like, hey, the interns or the assistant or the coordinator is probably doing all the research, and let's make sure that they get research-oriented information. Another example is time. Systems do not take into account time. Real simple example. Yesterday I was running a predictive forecast on the number of people searching for the term Outlook out of office. When someone's searching that, they're about to go on vacation, right? They're trying to, how do I turn this feature on so I can leave the office and not check email, right? When in the next few months is that search term going to peak? It's going to be the weeks of June 17th through the week of July 8th. During those weeks, at least in the United States, the predictive analytics software says search intent for that term will be the highest it will be all year. Nobody's going to be at their desk. No one's going to be reading email. Well, far fewer people. And a next generation lead scoring system should take that into account. It should discount those weeks in its algorithms. The nurture programs might automatically just turn off or throttle down for anything except the highest value prospects. And anybody who does respond during that time, they should get an accelerated nurture program, because frankly, if they're not on vacation during those weeks, then they're probably going to be on vacation sometime shortly thereafter. So the system could either speed things up for those folks. And again, a system that understands time and context. If the intern is doing research and trying to put together a short list, you might have a much faster nurture program for that person rather than someone who's a CMO. You might have a much longer nurture program just to keep awareness present, but not necessarily like dumping the truck full of data on their desk. The intern needs that to do their job well in a search. The CMO probably not as much. So that's what lead scoring for the most successful marketing automation companies will likely evolve to. Probabilities that will inform activities so that sales professionals do more of the right things at the right times with the right people. We're not there yet. We're far from there yet. There are not nearly as many systems using all this data well. It will eventually get there. And my guess is it'll probably be some of the larger vendors or some of the most agile startups who are willing and able to experiment and ingest lots of new data sources and run that machine learning training on the inside to see, okay, is being mentioned in the news an indicator of something? Is showing up on the layoff.com an indicator that maybe you should be throttling back your marketing automation? You can see where all these different data sources could come into place. So a great question, Sangram. In terms of the future, there absolutely is a future, but it will look nothing like it does today. And it will be informed by machine learning and artificial intelligence to take into account behavior and context. As always, if you have a question for You Ask, I Answer, please you can leave it in the comments. You can click the link below to submit it that way. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and the email newsletter, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. If you want help with your company's data and analytics, visit braintrustinsights.com today and let us know how we can help you.